Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Jason here. Today we're going over AMC. We got AMC's earnings coming up from Q1 pretty soon as well. We're going to go over those. Also, I wore my Popeye shirt today, so hopefully I bring some good luck this coming up week. If you haven't, make sure you guys hit the like button below. Not only does it help out this video, it also helps out new people learn about AMC. If you're not a sub, make sure you guys hit the sub button. Remember, at 10K subs, we're also doing a giveaway, some AMC stocks over on the public app. If you're wondering what charting system I'm using here, I'm using Webull. There's a link down in the description. You sign up, put $100 in, you get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,800. You also get the tier 2 NASDAQ views for 3 months. As you can see here, the last week on the AMC stock has been a very crazy ride of ups and downs throughout the week. Remember, this week was a very trying time in the market with the PCE numbers coming out as well, which does measure some of the inflation numbers, does make a lot of the suits and a lot of these hedge funds, man, like to pull out money a lot in stocks they're in, and that kind of tanks the stock market overall when these numbers come out, especially right now with the pandemic still going on. You have fears of another lockdown, obviously, since you have European nations shutting down as well. That's not helping out the market. And now you have this ship over on the Suez Canal near Egypt, blocking that path, which is hurting the market again overall. And we could see that even worsen if they cannot get that ship moved and they have to start unloading that ship. Could take up to 10 days to move the ship. Which would definitely going to hurt a lot of the market. It's going to make food inflation go up. It's going to make gas prices go up. It's going to affect everything. And that right there, you might not think it's going to affect AMC, but believe me, the overall market affects AMC. It's been doing that as well. Obviously, I know we're fighting against hedge funds as well. But on top of that, we do have the overall market we're fighting against here. AMC is not just a hype stock anymore. It's been doing this for months now. So it goes kind of from a hype stock to, I guess, we call it a meme stock at this point. And what I mean by that is that it's just bellowed out to months and months and months and months, and now it's getting affected by the market overall more than maybe like a regular hype stock would that gets hyped up for maybe a day or two. Again, another positive note though, in terms of bullish sentiment coming up, obviously on April 16th, you have a lot of people with a ton of options for April 16th, and this is going to continue to fill in. Again, you have 28,000 on $11. You have 18,300 at $12. You have 21,000 at $13. You have 13,000 at $14. You have 39,000 at $15. The list goes on. You go down here to like 20 with 20,000 right here, almost 21,000 at 20. 10,200 at 21. So the bullish sentiment's still there. If you go out to the month chart right here, again, we're still up. If you go right past the month right here, right at the month chart, we're still up from the $5.38 we were at. Remember, we did end aftermarket at $10.31. A lot of this downturn right here, though, is a lot of the broad market pullback. We've had lots of things, obviously, fighting against the hedge funds for a while as well. And I think we can fight against hedge funds, right? We're going to see some ups and downs with hedge funds. But when you're fighting against a broader market pullback and the hedge funds, you start to see this. It's very hard to fight against it, right? It's a lot harder to deal with. You need crazy volume numbers, which we just haven't had those crazy volume numbers to fight both. We do have a nice little cup and handle right here setting up though. Though I don't really like to go off, formations in hype stocks or meme stocks. But again, I mean, you can still see this cup and handle. That's one reason why I do think it's coming up week. Hopefully we have this weekend to kind of cool down. Even if we don't see some explosive growth next week in the market due to this crazy ship in Suez Canal stuck and the fear of the pandemic again, shutting down nations over in Europe. We could definitely still see a good little rise in the market next week, and I'm hoping that's what we see. Even if next week on Friday we end at $14 or $15, that'll still be a great week overall. Good little growth going forward. Now we can go over AMC's expected quarterly sales coming up for quarter one. Zacks.com has an estimate of 145.97 million for quarter one in sales. Obviously, we just had the theaters open back up, so a lot of that opening is not going to be in these sales, but it's going to be at least some of these openings right here are going to be within these sell numbers. I wish we had another month added those sell numbers. That would definitely help out, but obviously Q2s are where we should start seeing that bump in the sales numbers. Wall Street brokerages expect that AMC Holdings will announce sales of 145.97 million for the current physical quarter, according to Zacks.com. 3 analysts have provided estimates for AMC's entertainment's earnings. The lowest sales estimate is 122.2 million, and the highest is 178.5 million. Now, obviously, we'd rather see 178.5 million. So whoever estimated that, please let that be. That'd be great. But I mean, obviously, 145 million is better than 122 million. AMC posted sales of 941.5 million during the same quarter last year, which suggests a negative year-over-year growth rate of 84.5%. But again, obviously the first quarter of 2020, the economy wasn't shut down then. That makes a big difference. That shows you where they should be at, compared to last year. It should be at around $940 to $1 billion in net sales. But they're expecting, 145 million or so around there. But again, that is because of the pandemic has had stuff shut down this time around, going to last time around, right, from January, February, March. But we didn't really start shutting down to the end of March, so those numbers really didn't get hurt that much until then. The firm is scheduled to announce its next earnings results on Tuesday, June the 8th. So obviously on June 8th, we'll be streaming those live. We're a little bit away from those, but it's also good to look into this, right? I'll be streaming that live. Obviously, we had those earnings come in. On average, analysts expect that AMC Entertainment will report full year sales of $2.54 billion for the current fiscal year, with estimates ranging from $2.14 billion all the way to $2.81 billion. Again, obviously, we'd like to have the $2.81 billion this year. For the next fiscal year, analysts expect that the company will post sales of $5.02 billion, with estimates ranging from $4.68 billion to $5.38 billion. That's pretty good growth, though, right? This year, obviously, we'll have some of these things shut down, right? So they're not going to have that big growth, but obviously in 2022, they're expecting around around $5 billion in earnings. Zacks estimate research sales averages are the average based on a survey of sell-side research analysts that cover AMC Entertainment. AMC's last announced its quarterly earnings results on Tuesday, March 9th. The company reported 3.15 earnings per share EPS, with a quarter missing the Zacks consensus of 2.80 by a percentage of 35 cents. The business had a revenue of $162.50 million during the quarter, compared to the consensus estimate of $141 million during the same period in the previous year. The firm earned 35 cents per share. The company's revenue for the quarter was down 88.8% compared to the same quarter last year. But again, this is all because of the pandemic, right? So it's not really AMC's fault on that end. AMC has been the subject of several research analyst reports. Zacks Investment Research raised AMC's Entertainment from a hold rating to a buy rating and set its target price at $12 for the company in research note on Monday, March 15th. I think a lot of us obviously saw that. They did get a buy rating of $12, which is below where it is right now. So, I would suggest that the stock is indeed a buy. And obviously, we've had all kinds of ranges, right? You had that one guy on CNBC say it wasn't even worth a penny. You wouldn't pay a penny for the stock. I'll load up for a penny. Give me like a bajillion of them on a penny. You know what I mean? Obviously, you had MKM come out and says $1 price. At least somebody gets it. At least somebody's giving a fair price target of $12 at Zacks. You know what I mean? I mean, fairly, obviously, $12 is a good fair price. But again, we all know that this stock could definitely squeeze and go a lot higher than that. And for Zacks to say $12, I really do agree with that pricing right now in terms of like a fair value price on the company, if you're looking just at the company and not looking at the squeeze potential. In other news, Director Lake Group, LLC, Silver sold 33 million shares of the stock in a transaction on Wednesday, January 27th. I think we all remember that. The stock was sold at an average price of $16 for the transaction of $534 million. The transaction was disclosed in a legal filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, which can be accessed through this link. Also, EVP Elizabeth F. Frank sold 40,000 shares on March 16th. I went over that as well. On March 16th, we went over that she sold 40,000 shares. The stock was sold at an average price of $13.56 for a total revenue of $542,000. Following the transaction, the executive vice president now owns 173,000 shares of the company stocks valued at $2,356,000. The disclosure for this sale can be found here. Over the last 90 days, insiders sold 33 million shares of the company stock valued at $535 million. 1.60% of the stock is owned by the company's insiders. Now, we went over that yesterday. Now, I did go over this yesterday. Obviously, we've had a couple insider sales this week that has happened. Went over that yesterday in yesterday's video. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch that real quick. The hedge funds and other institution investors have recently added to reduce their stakes in the company. Point72 Hong Kong Limited boosted their holdings in AMC by 17.6% during quarter 3. 0.76 Hong Kong now owns 21,000 shares of the company stock valued at 102,000 after acquiring an additional 3,259 shares during the period. QCM Cayman Limited boosted its holding in AMC Entertainment by 36% during the third quarter. Cayman now owns 14,000 shares. Sigma also now owns 22,000 shares of the company as well, valued at 48,000. Public Employees Retirement System of Ohio also bought new shares, owning 22,000 shares of the companies valued at $48,000. And then obviously you have the California Public Employees Retirement System now owns 124,000 shares of the company valued at 587. They bought an additional 6,000 shares during the period. Now you can see right here, obviously as well, on this chart right here, this is the earnings estimate right here. Obviously we had the $3.15 in the negative on quarter 4. They're expecting a $1.05 estimate in the negative for quarter 1 this year, 68 cents negative quarter 2 of this year. They're expecting 55 cents negative in quarter 3, 31 cents in quarter 4, 33 cents in quarter 1 of 2022, and then down to 20 cents negative in quarter 2022, quarter 2 2022. This is all good, right? You see this downward movement, trying to get back to being a positive earnings company, and I think that's going to happen. I think that'll happen towards the end of the year of 2022, when their prices and people start getting back to the theaters a lot, and they start hustling, bustling, get everything back to 100% going. I think we'll see that transition fairly quickly. Now, again, I do think we'll see a good week this coming up week, as long as the markets are doing right. If the markets are heavily affected by this ship in the canal in Egypt, obviously we could have some turmoil in the market, and that can obviously hurt, the forward progress of AMC right now. Does that mean we're going to go negative again? That doesn't mean we're going negative. We can just have more flatter days, more upward flatter days. Now, us having some just casual, nice up days in the market and on AMC is a good thing overall, and I'm hoping that's what we see this coming week. I'm hoping over this weekend, cooler heads do prevail, and some of these suits and everybody stops freaking out about the pandemic over in the European nations. In this ship that is blocking cargoes, ships like crazy in the canal, which is costing they're saying upwards of $6 billion a day. That's a lot. $6 billion plus a day is costing, costing lots and lots of companies lots of money right now. And again, you might not think that might not affect AMC, but it does, because it affects overall market. And as you guys have seen, the overall market affects AMC a lot. But again, I do want to remain positive, and hopefully these things kind of get resolved. They're hoping to get a bunch of tugboats over there and move that stupid ship. I don't know how that guy was driving or what he's doing to even end up like that. If you guys haven't seen it, go look it up. Look up ship stuck in canal. Just Google it. First thing that pops up. It's ridiculous. I don't even know how he did it. I mean, how he even got stuck in there. Just going down that darn thing all the time. I mean, somehow this man gets stuck. Hopefully this right here will also make them maybe be able to they were talking about maybe trying to widen the canal a little bit. That way these things don't happen in the future. Because again, costing $6 billion a day is a lot of money. If they just spend a little bit of money in terms of making it a little bit wider, the canal a little bit wider maybe, that would definitely help out. But again, I do hope next week we do see a better market overall. Hopefully this weekend we see a lot cooler heads prevail. And then next week we see some nice steady growth going back up. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys smack the like button below. Make sure you guys hit the sub button. Also, remember there's a link down below for Discord. Make sure you guys come join the Discord. There's awesome people over in Discord. We have a great community, over 1,000 people in there right now. Also, there's a link down for Patreon. Remember, tomorrow we do have a private Patreon stream. If you guys want to be part of that, join that Patreon link. We go over stocks. If you have any questions, things like that, there's also a one-on-one area in the Patreon that you guys can join as well. I'll see you guys in the next video.